Steven Seagal, action hero, self-proclaimed martial arts master, and easily one of the most despised men in Hollywood history. On screen, movies like Under Siege and Hard to Kill turned him into a 90s superstar. Off-screen, a completely different story. From bizarre antics and toxic set behavior to serious allegations and decades-long grudges, Seagal has built a reputation as the celebrity almost everyone loves to hate. In this video, we're exposing the famous names who can't stand him, the explosive reasons they refuse to be in the same room, the infamous moments that made jaws drop, and the legendary incident with a stunt coordinator that still gets whispered about today. Stay until the end. You won't believe what happened. Charlize Theron is a supermodel who fights like a warrior. When Howard Stern asked her about Seagal in 2020, she didn't hold back. After watching those cringe clips of Seagal clumsily shoving stuntmen, she laughed. "He's incredibly overweight and just pushing people. He can barely fight. It's ridiculous." Then she went nuclear on the misconduct allegations. "He's not very nice to women, so I have no problem talking shit about him." Her final words into the mic: "So fuck you." An A-lister just obliterated him on air. Zero fear. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's attack was quiet but devastating. On Jimmy Kimmel Live, when asked if he'd ever worked with Seagal, Neeson instantly fired, "I want to know who dyed his hair, Stevie Wonder?" The audience lost it. Later, when a reporter quoted Seagal claiming Neeson can't punch, the former boxer shot back, "I know how to punch." Kimmel piled on with jokes about Seagal hiding in Russia, and every punchline hit harder than the last. John Leguizamo. Nobody took a more literal beating from Seagal than John Leguizamo. First day of executive decision rehearsals, Seagal strutted in and declared, "I'm in command here. What I say is law." Leguizamo laughed. Bad move. Seagal suddenly slammed him into a brick wall with an aikido elbow, knocking the wind out of him. Gasping on the floor, Leguizamo could only ask, "Why?" Years later, he turned the humiliation into comedy gold on Broadway, mocking Seagal's flailing arms and weird run. When Seagal threatened to punch him on a red carpet, Leguizamo replied, "I don't think he gets invited to many red carpets." Julianna Margulies still remembers her one and only meeting with Seagal, and it was terrifying. While auditioning for Out for Justice, she went to his hotel room, standard back then. She sat on the couch, felt something hard under the cushion. Seagal casually pulled out a gun and set it on the nightstand. Then he said he wanted to read her palm because he's a healer. With a loaded gun inches away, she bolted. That experience later saved her. When Harvey Weinstein asked for a private meeting, she refused flat out. Portia de Rossi walked into what she thought was a final audition. Instead, Seagal started talking about off-screen chemistry and unzipped his leather pants. She ran. When she told her agent, the response was ice cold. "Well, I didn't know if he was your type." Years later, during Me Too, Portia spoke out publicly, and Ellen DeGeneres proudly backed her wife. Ronda Rousey's grudge is personal. Her uncle, legendary judo master Gene LeBell, once choked Seagal out on set so hard the action star allegedly pooped his pants. Hollywood's favorite whispered story. Rousey has never forgotten. She says even now her uncle could destroy Seagal again, and if Seagal ever badmouthed LeBell in front of her, "I'd make him crap his pants a second time." She's not joking. Ray Dawn Chong. In the 80s, Ray Dawn Chong was sent to Seagal's hotel room late at night. He answered in a robe, sat with his legs spread wide so she saw everything, then asked if her blouse was silk and if he could touch it. She fired back, "You know what silk feels like," and walked out. Her final words on the subject, "I never let him touch me, and I would have fucking killed him." Jean-Claude Van Damme. The Seagal-Van Damme beef is decades old. Seagal mocked JCVD's fighting skills on TV and bragged he'd squash him like an ant. According to Sylvester Stallone, when Van Damme finally challenged Seagal to fight in Stallone's backyard in 1997, Seagal ran away. Same thing happened again at a nightclub. Seagal vanished the second Van Damme stepped up. The entire SNL cast, Seagal's Saturday Night Live hosting gig, is still called the worst in the show's history. Cast members say he was humorless, defensive, and impossible. He locked himself in his dressing room because a sketch had Hans and Franz beating him up. Even Lorne Michaels roasted him years later. When Nicolas Cage joked he might be the biggest jerk ever on SNL, Lorne replied, "No, that would be Steven Seagal." DMX. Seagal called DMX a gentleman in public. DMX called Seagal a head with spray-on hair who talked like an old slave master. He and his wife mocked him constantly behind his back. DMX's one-word summary? Asshole. Jenny McCarthy. During her Under Siege 2 audition, Seagal suddenly demanded she take her dress off, claiming there was nudity. There wasn't. When she refused, he kept pushing until she cried and ran out screaming, "Rent my Playboy video, you asshole!" She says he grabbed her in the parking lot and warned her to keep quiet. To this day, she says if she saw him, she'd still call him a fucking pig. George Foreman. At age 69, boxing legend George Foreman publicly challenged Seagal to a 10-round fight in Vegas and promised to knock him out in 2 rounds max. Talks started with Seagal's manager. Then Seagal went silent, too busy hanging out with Putin apparently. Foreman never backed down from his prediction. Rachel Grant. In 2002, Rachel Grant was flown to Bulgaria for a rehearsal with Seagal. He repeatedly told her to take her top off. When she refused, he pulled it down himself, exposing her, then pushed her onto the bed and started unzipping. Her crying finally stopped him. Seagal's lawyers denied everything. Chuck Norris never directly fought Seagal, but the shade was ice cold. When Dick Cavett asked about Seagal's skills, Norris said you can't tell because of quick cuts. When Cavett mentioned a rude martial artist in a bookstore, Norris instantly asked, "Was it Steven Seagal?" Asked if Seagal's mean persona was just acting, Norris smirked. "It carries over into his whole life." Unfortunately. Final killer line when asked if Seagal ever stepped on his foot. "No, he wouldn't dare." Final thoughts. That's just the tip of the iceberg of grudges, scandals, and outright hatred that have followed Steven Seagal for decades. So, what do you think? Misunderstood martial arts icon? Or did he completely earn every ounce of this bad blood? Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.